News, working for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to WJCL News at 10. Tonight we're talking gun violence that is plaguing the Hostess City for weeks now. 24 shootings in less than a month. I'm Renee LaSalle. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Larry Sproul. Kevin and Jennifer are off tonight. That's where we start this Tuesday. Of those 24 shootings, there have been 2 deaths and only 3 arrests. Now take a look. This map shows us where 19 of those Savannah shootings happened, the latest Sunday night in the 5200 block of Cordell Street. Today, Metro Police are talking about that gun violence. They're telling us why it's been so difficult to get it under control. WJCL's Nick Notario has the details.
Officers are not exactly sure why all these shootings are happening, but they are confident the public is not at risk because they do not believe they're random. Crime scene tape blocking off a shooting investigation is a sight many in Savannah are sick of seeing, including police. Since July 7th, there's been 24 of them. Officers say they're having a hard time because no one's talking.
They'll either handle it themselves or they just don't like the police department. There's one that happened at 800 East Gwinnett Street, we'll cover in just a minute, that the victim laying on the ground actually told the other witnesses in the area, don't say nothing to the police.
To give out more details on the incidents, Metro Police held a news conference Tuesday. Here's what we learned. Police do not believe these are random shootings. This is because officers say nearly half of the victims knew the shooter. We also learned 3 were self-inflicted and 3 were drug-related. Interim Chief Tolbert took part in a news conference about the recent shootings about 2 weeks ago. So we asked her why it took so long to get this information out to you.
We knew from the very beginning moving forward that this was not a situation where the general public was actually at risk. These were individuals going after each other. So for the detectives that were working the cases, we needed to give them the space to gather as much information and intelligence that they needed to give us feedback on what we were really dealing with.
What they're dealing with is a shooting nearly every day for a month at any hour in random locations across the city. Tolbert says patrols have increased since July, but she says no matter how many officers are on the street, it may not stop the violence. We
would hope that it never happen, but they do happen, and we simply respond when they do.
It's not just the victims keeping quiet. Tolbert says so far no one has called into Crime Stoppers with information about these shootings. Reporting in the studio, Nick Notario, WJCL News, working for you.
Now, one more time, everybody, we want to stress that there has not been a single call to Crime Stoppers about these shootings, and police, they need your help. If you have any information, anything that could help to solve these 24 shootings, call Crime Stoppers. The number right there on your screen, it is 234-2020. You can also text them too. Text the keyword CSTOP2020 and your tips to the word crimes. Remember, you can remain anonymous and you could qualify for a cash reward. Well, all across the city tonight, neighbors coming out hoping to wipe out our crime in our neighborhoods.
Yes, National Night Out. The annual neighborhood block party comes on the heels of 24 reported shootings in Savannah since early July. WJCL's Ashley Link is on top of the story. Ashley, kind of just paint the scene for what happened tonight.
Well, it was a very exciting scene as law enforcement mingled with community members. Now, this is one of many National Night Out events across the city this evening. Organizers say this comes at a good time with Savannah crime numbers on the rise in such a short period of time.
A night fostering relationships with the community and law enforcement.
It's kind of disheartening that people, are taking lives just selfishly and just for no reason. So hopefully we can do something to help it all cease.
That something starts with one night, National Night Out, a nationwide event aimed at increasing crime prevention.
We want people to know that they can be safe here in Savannah, and this is a night when communities come together and enjoy each other.
Some say this year's Night Out lands at a time when the city needs it most.
That what is happening right now is an exception as to what has been happening.
Yeah, a lot of shootings and whatever, so it's kind of not safe to be running around the streets.
Since early July, 24 shootings have raided Savannah streets. Police say no calls or tips have been placed to police or Crime Stoppers. One of the reasons National Night Out was created.
We just want the community to know, to be comfortable with the police, and if they know something about the crime that's going on, to report it.
Something Savannah residents say they welcome.
It will make it easier because then that the law enforcement really care about the community and really care about what's going on in these neighborhoods and try to get these kids off the streets.
But one thing the community and law enforcement can agree on, it doesn't stop with just one night.
Does not. It doesn't stop. It is a way of saying you need to know your neighbors, you need to work with your neighbors, and you need to embrace each other.
An effort they say starts with the community.
And National Night Out started in 1984. It's now grown to over 16,000 communities across the nation. And Renee and Larry, another way communities were participating was by leaving their porch or courtyard lights on this evening.
All right. Hopefully it works.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Ashley.
And we got you new details for tonight on that huge fire out in Jessup. Half a dozen businesses and even a church were destroyed, and several animals in a pet shop did not make it. But the community is vowing to rebuild.
Now, WJCL's Rob Macco has been out in Jessup all day long talking with the community and with city leaders too. Tonight, he joins us with their story of resilience. Take a look.
Between 150 and 200 firefighters from at least 14 departments fought the massive fire in downtown Jessup Monday night.
I came outside my business and actually saw the building engulfed in flames.
They had it under control in about 3 hours, but firefighters remained through the night and into Tuesday.
It was amazing to watch those guys work. They're terrific. I can't say enough about the job that they were doing.
The fire destroyed a quarter of the downtown area, and when it was all said and done, 6 businesses and a church were destroyed, including this pet store. Some animals didn't make it, but Angelique Harper says firefighters rescued 2 dogs, 2 cats, a snake, iguana, and guinea pig. She kept them in her dance studio.
Everybody was checking in, and we were trying to do whatever we could to help out and do whatever was needed.
The fire started in the Fairhaven Market, a thrift store for a domestic violence shelter, and quickly spread to other businesses. Many think it started in a rooftop air conditioning unit at Fairhaven, but investigators haven't made a determination yet.
We hope to build something better and nicer and new air conditioning units and then just get this back as soon as we can.
Another casualty of the fire, a computer store. Michael Owens had his computer there and lost hundreds of pictures of his son, Michael Jr.
Which had all his baby pictures, everything in it for my wife, and they got destroyed, and it's a sad feeling.
The city manager says the property owner had insurance and plans to rebuild. The city is also working to find new homes for the affected businesses. On Tuesday, people stopped by to take pictures and study the damage.
I'm feeling a lot of sadness and big-time loss.
Some businesses not affected by the fire closed for the day. The State Fire Marshal and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are investigating, which is standard for commercial buildings. Rob Macco, WJCL News, working for you.
Thankfully, no one was inside those buildings at the time, but 3 firefighters were treated at the hospital for minor injuries. Now, if you want to help, you can. You can donate to the victims of the Jessup fire by making a donation to the Jessup DDA Fire Fund. That fund housed at the SunTrust Bank in Jessup.
And 3 teens are in custody in Jasper County tonight after another round of commercial break-ins. About a dozen businesses had been targeted in the last month. But now some Lowcountry moms have turned the suspects in after they found out their own sons were involved in the break-in.
Handcuffed and in the back of this Jasper County deputy car are these 3 teens. Deputies believe they are connected to Jasper County's most recent commercial break-in. Their faces are blurred because they are juveniles.
They broke the glass here, reached in with a gloved hand and unlocked this bottom lock.
Brenda DeLoach, owner of Brenda's Country Store, says the 3 teens tried to break into her business Tuesday morning around 12 a.m.
Miss Brenda says the suspects tried to break into her store using the front entrance, but that did not work. After that, they came right over here and tried to go in the back entrance, not realizing that the whole entire thing was caught on the security camera.
But the camera was not the only piece of evidence. Get this, the juveniles' mothers called deputies saying their sons were involved.
The doors were shimmied like they had tried to come through the bar, get the bars open and couldn't. Glass door at the back was broken. There's some glass in the back of the store. We got a little storage room back there. That was broken also.
Costing DeLoach
probably about $1,800 to $2,000 in the store.
Now DeLoach told me last week someone broke into this fire department just down the street from her store.
Do you think these incidents were isolated, or do you think they could have been connected?
I believe they could be connected.
And right now, deputies are not saying if the break-ins are connected. I talked to the mothers tonight. They did not want to talk to me on camera, but I asked them why did they turn in their sons. They told me it was the right thing to do.
I tell you what, some brave mommies.
Brave mommies, but not
probably
so
some pretty angry sons.
Definitely. Straight ahead next on WJCL News, new details on the whale that washed ashore on Hilton Head. Why the experts say it happened and it was not the shark.